Yeah, he said she's like really cool.
Drove up the mirror a lot, like with real mirrors and then fake mirrors, like this hand mirror, and I'm interested in how that's the installation quality that I see happening in the future. It's like paintings, but then definitely some real mirrors in the space also. But this is like a really old shape, but a painting I just finished this year, so like, but I cut this shape maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Like a painting I touched, like I put this on last week, so it's been kind of a long,
Damn.
they're like drawn out things. I try not to make too many marks. The same way you're talking about like vocabulary, there's I think it's important to stay engaged with the painting histories of physical vocabulary, like what got painting to the stages that it's at currently are the endeavors of the refinement of presentation modes sometimes, but then still everything really matters, like the folds on the corners or how deep the canvas is. This stuff, most of this stuff I cut in Ohio, actually, then brought it here to this shit.
Yeah.
But these are the shapes I was doing out there. Like this one is, the negative spaces that made their ways. I've dragged some of these around for 5 years now. But it's just because, like, when I made them, I know where I hope to go, or like you can have a million ideas of what to paint in a day, but it would take you 60 years to paint all of them, even just physically. You could never fully express what you have in your mind for the future of your own paintings because it just like literally takes a long enough time that time marches on at that point and then it changes anyways. But so like just trying to keep a vision of where I want to go, but never reveal anything too much, like never fully finish one until they do have a home where they'll all be exhibited at the same time. Then I'll like really tie up all the loose ends and these little moments. But it's nice to build them together because sometimes you take one a little too far and then it makes you see something that's oversimplified in another one that you can like bring out, but it won't alter the composition of the painting. It just like gives you one more thing to look at eventually within the structures and the hierarchy of like where your eye goes in the painting.
Like being very careful with your steps.
Yeah, mostly because it just hurts my soul so much when I fuck up a painting in my eyes.
Damn.
I just can't unlook at it, and then I either have to like unstretch it or paint over it or like in wherever it's bothering me at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love certain qualities of the painting, and I'm trying to retain those in them, and then if I like, I don't know, make too much of a mess in this one area and like really alters the surface in a way that I can't kind of swallow, then it can bug me enough. But that's just everybody, I think, with their own work. It's like your own biggest critic, and there's a lot of things that bug me. But you live with them, and then sometimes they go away, and then sometimes you just figure out how to work with it in the right way.
Yeah, I think I have to fuck them up on my end.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you do have to satisfy this urge in you to like advance the composition and see what happens when you would see that over there, and some things you can take back, like go over them, but unlike in Photoshop or something, there's just no undo button, especially with raw canvas, which there's a lot of in this stuff. That's the hardest part to retain. Like if the raw part gets fucked up in a way that I can't, you know, get over as a hurdle, then I'll just figure out how to like make it raw canvas again. Whatever, just paste canvas.
It's soft and beautiful and delicate.
Thank you.
It's hard to keep raw.
It is. But then I do love letting go too, and like letting the little scuffs accumulate, and like the perfectness kind of goes away, especially with how much sunlight there is. They all change over time. But I think that it's a characteristic that you can't really get from painting. Like unless you want to faux age something, or like give it a pickling, or really work it into your medium. Which I think the sun can be a medium too, and is a medium, because it's like, in essence, is time. It's like what advances our day to day, but also it just weathers things in this way, and yellows them, and brings out this sort of charredness to the wood and to the canvas. Like the organic materials respond in a really interesting way to sun and time. The size kind of fit in with the paintings, but don't function necessarily just as paintings. But they have time on them, like in these, the way they're decaying, because most of them are just found objects that I paint yellow.
Yeah.
But I am cutting these, like I'm not cutting that shape, but I am cutting these shapes, and then, you know, but I'm still touching. So this one is like
Is that real tobacco in there?
it's flowering honey bush, which is like a tea. So yeah, not tobacco, but it does look like it. So this one is kind of the same premise, like it would sit on the wall of the...
This is just a whole show.
Yeah, there's... I've been building the same body for a few years. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I definitely see them all inhabiting the same space. Things that come into the gallery world as work-life objects that I'm interested in sculpting and painting as, like, you know, it's just, I love in painting to chew everything, chew it and chew it. It's like, it's sculpture, it's painting, it's theory, it's philosophy, it's like, you know, nothing, it's everything. And then, but then within like the content of the like day-to-day living, I also like to chew it in this way of like, the paintings are about work, but they're about painting, but they're also about like you and your self and habit and the things that you might see in a room that's also in paintings. And pivot, you know, like a lot of minimalism I think is pretty pivotal and non-lackadaisy, or it's just uber kitsch and being sold for too much, and or just being bought online as a poster or something. How to be good at that and like think in these ways that you need to navigate anything in the realm of facilitating aesthetics and like, you know, the overhead of maintaining a facility that is concerned with a very clear view of objects and
Yeah. Yeah, like a makeup mirror.
yeah.
honestly incredible. But